training camp around the corner, we need to know who is going to step up and who is the most important to this team. What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the Titans Rundown. I am your host, Micah McCamey, and in today's episode, we are going to be talking about training camp, who needs to step up, and who is the most important player in training camp. As y'all know, we do the system of I have 3 honorable mentions, and then I have one specific nominee for who I think should be the starter, or who I think should be the most important or the best or whatever. So let's go ahead and get this started. But first off, obviously, I gotta address, yes, I'm not at home right now, and I'm doing this in a different environment. And after I'm gone from here, I'm gonna be in Chicago. So I just wanted to go ahead and record this before I was gone. Yeah, of course, I'm leaving for Chicago the day that training camp starts for the Titans. How wonderful. But, I'm really excited about the Chicago trip, of course. But, I just found that kind of funny. But anyway, first off, we're almost there, guys. Training camp is just around the corner, and we are about to finally get back into the swing of things for football season. These last few months have been brutal. They've been hard to get through, and they have been very difficult to navigate, especially for me, who has to make content every Wednesday. Well, okay, every Wednesday except one, but y'all understand why I had to miss that day. But, it's been hard to make content this off season because, it's hard to talk about anything whenever the Titans are on a break. So, it's going to be nice to have something specific to talk about every Wednesday. But anyway, let's get into today's episode with the honorable mentions of this episode of who needs to step up the most in training camp. First honorable mention, every proven vet, i.e. Big Jeff, L'Jarius Sneed, DeAndre Hopkins, Calvin Ridley, etc. Those types of people. The guys that have been around in just the league in general, not just the Titans, but in the league for a while, and that, they need to be good mentors, and they've got to have good leadership. We don't need them to get the entire team just, all ticked off at each other, and then we just have no chemistry. We need those leaders of the locker room to bring everybody together. Guys like Big Jeff, guys like DeAndre Hopkins, those types of people. And I am a little worried about, hopefully DeAndre Hopkins doesn't cause too much drama this year, but, who knows? If Will Levis ends up being, iffy, D-Hop could be a little upset, but, we'll just have to see how it plays out. But anyway, because, the last thing that we need in this locker room is for somebody to be breathing down another dude's neck and having another Draymond Green, Jordan Poole situation where somebody gets punched in the face. That's the last thing that we need. Because, this team is young. They really need to build some chemistry together. It's just something that is very important to me. Obviously I want them to be good, but this is not even about them just being good players. This is all about them being just good leaders and good examples, especially to the younger guys. But anyway, moving on, I have the second honorable mention, which is the entire right side of the O-line. Left side, we know who's going to start. Latham at left tackle. Left guard is going to be Peter Skoronski, and then Lloyd Cushenberry is going to be playing center. We knew that was going to happen almost immediately. And we know that the left side of the O-line is at least going to be okay. The right side of the O-line is concerning, though. Right guard, we have, I think, a 3-way battle, maybe a 2-way battle, but probably a 3-way battle between Radens, Sadiq, and Brunskill. Now, I think Brunskill may be out of the race at this point because they're asking him to be the backup center. But, like, we need to see some, we need to see someone break away in that battle and be better than everybody else. I don't care at this point if my prediction is correct about Dillon Radunz taking the job. If Radunz pulls away, then I got a right prediction, and that's cool. If Sadiq is the one that ends up starting, that's also fine. Like, I just need somebody in this battle to break away and show us that right guard's going to be okay. And then right tackle, that's kind of a disaster right now. It's like NPF, Leroy Watson, and the new dude that we signed, I think it's Geron Christian. But, like, that right side of the O-line is just absolutely not that great. So we're just hoping, at the very least, that we get something decent, right? We need something small to make sure that we actually have a decent O-line, right? So, right tackle I'm more concerned about because I think that right guard, Sadiq Charles is a veteran who, could at least, be okay, like allow 4 to 8 sacks. We said the same thing. We said the same thing about Andre Dillard though, and look how that ended up. And Dillon Radunz at right guard also, we know that he has played on the O-line before. He's played out of position and still been good. Like, he's not a right tackle, but he was pretty dang solid last year whenever he did play right tackle. And I think that right guard is his perfect position. So, that's also fine. But right tackle is so uncertain. Geron Christian was okay last year whenever he played. NPF had flashes his rookie year, but really just has not been that good. And Leroy Watson, we have no clue about. He played a couple of snaps last year, gave up 0 sacks, and didn't have any pressures on the quarterback. But that still does not mean that he is an absolute beast and that he's the obvious starter. Right tackle is what concerns me the most about this team right now, if I'm being completely honest. But, that's just my opinion. But anyway, I'm going to add in an extra honorable mention here, just kind of call it audible, because now that I think about that, edge. Just whoever is going to start at edge, I need them to break away. Whether it's Arden Key or Shad Weaver, we need somebody in that battle to break away. We need somebody that will at least be okay. I haven't been worried about that much because I think our D-line is just, pretty solid outside of that one edge position. And I feel like that can just overshadow the blemish at that edge. But, I still want to see something just to be safe. Also, same thing can be said for linebacker. I'd love to see Cedric Gray get his opportunity and break out next year, but we know that that's probably not going to happen until about 5 or 6 weeks in. But I do think he'll come in the training camp with a chip on his shoulder. So, I don't know. I think he could win it. The linebacker 2 spot, but we'll just have to see. Anyway, okay, getting sidetracked, we got to move on to the last honorable mention, and I can't go a video without mentioning him, but come on now, Will Levis, he is, I've already talked about him a lot, of course. I don't think I've gone a video without talking about him. At least in the weekly episodes, but he is the most important part of this offense and this entire team in general. If he's not good, the team's not going to be good. If he's good, then I think this team has the potential to be great. But I'm just worried about that, He's obviously a big part of this team's success. He is going to be the deciding factor of whether we're good or bad, like I said. He is, he's got to come in, he's got to be a good leader, he's got to come in potentially with, a chip on his shoulder to prove everybody wrong. He's got to be connecting with his targets. I've seen his trips to like Mexico with Calvin Ridley and Chig and Wiley and those guys. So like I need to keep on seeing the chemistry develop. I need to keep on seeing the strong arm. I need to see what he showed at the end of OTAs during training camp. Now that we've gotten the honorable mentions out of the way, now we talk about the man that I think is the most important to this. A man who is very polarizing in the Titans community. He's a man who ended up, being added on earlier this offseason. And there were some people that were really excited about him being on the team, and there were some people that were doubting his abilities to be able to play. That man, of course, is T'Vondre Sweat.
Oh, no.
I know that T'Vondre Sweat has a big crowd of people that love him and think that he can do no wrong. And I know that there's a big crowd of people that hate T'Vondre Sweat and think that he's done every possible thing wrong known to humanity. But I stand somewhere in the middle of this. And I'm putting my personal biases aside because I think he's going to be good. I think he's going to be fine, and I think that he's going to be a solid football player. But the truth is, he needs to be something resembling a football player during training camp. If he's not there day one, we're going to have some problems, all right? Like, he is, he's really got to show up. He's got to impress. He's got to at least be able to play. And I need to see that man be in decent shape. Like, he's got all of the tools. He's got everything that he could need to be a great football player. And we just need to see him take the step forward. Like, he hasn't really, done that much yet to inspire optimism. But yeah, I am still optimistic about this dude because I'm just high on his upside and his ability to be great in the NFL. Now, he's got to be a run stuffer because, that's what we brought him on for, all right? Pass rush, I'm not worried. I think Big Jeff's going to take the leap in the pass rush that we've all been expecting him to because of the new defensive scheme. And I think that Harold Landry is going to be just as good as ever. I think Arden Key could end up having a decent year. And, that D-line is pretty good, but it all comes down to T'Vondre Sweat. Can he be the run stopper that we all have expected him to be? That is this week's episode. I have Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter if y'all want to go check it out, all under the Titans Rundown. And for people listening over podcasting, I have a YouTube channel. I'm not going to have a Friday post this week or a Saturday post, but I usually post another video that is exclusive to YouTube. So if you want to go check that out, then I think that would be good for you. But anyway, that's going to do it all for me. This has been a rundown of your Tennessee Titans. I love y'all, and tighten up.